And no, Nagaso, he's trying to fight everybody out of both squad clicking away, but he can't tank everybody. Chuan's low, but Navi players are dying. 3's dead. GG's gold!
Ladies and gents, welcome to the playoff stage of the International. Boom.
West qualifiers.
You don't need it. It's the playoff stage, man. It's all about the 4 teams, the playoffs. No one cares if it's West or East. They're not discriminating.
Ah, that's fine. Still, welcome to the Dota 2 International West qualifiers, day 5. See, it's not that hard.
Is it day 5 or is it playoff day?
That's for you. Hold it and shut up. All right. Hey, Andy. Hey, WebEx.
How's it going? Excited for the games today. Like you said, it's round of 4 basically. It's playoff time or day 5, depending on what you want to call it. I don't care either way. I just want to watch some Dota.
Yeah, I'm really excited for these games. But yeah, that day stuff is really messing up.
Your whole intro there, Andy, just screamed, "Someone bring me coffee. Fuck, I want coffee. Please, I need coffee."
Well, as many of you may not know, I've been suffering from a little illness, but I'm trying. I'm chugging along. Okay, you gotta give me. Just a
We
little bit of
almost
time.
got our own AC.
Almost.
Almost.
Now, if I start chain smoking and drinking whiskey, I can maybe pull off a proper introduction.
No, seriously. I never get ill, and my voice never goes.
I get sick once a year.
Well,
And it's around this time usually, and it lasts for about a week. It's like my schedule.
perfect
okay.
schedule.
Oh yeah, it's just immaculate. I'm really happy that it had to happen this week. But
Yeah.
enough about us, enough about being ill. Let's talk about the games today.
Yeah, so we're going into the playoff stage of the West qualifiers. Mm-hmm. And we've got 4 teams remaining. At the end of the day, we're actually we're not going to find out who's going into the grand finals and earning a spot. We're actually just going to lose a team today out of our 3 games. And if I really need to say it, Trans, let's go to the brackets. I thought it was pretty obvious. It was pretty obvious. Come on. Coffee. Trans wants coffee as well.
Good one.
Okay, so the upper bracket games that we're going to be starting with are EG versus Rock's Kiss. That's going to be first up. This is a very early match for EG. I believe it's some like 6, 7 a.m. over there. So, but they have already adapted their sleeping schedules in preparation for this tournament. So I don't feel too bad for them. Mm-hmm. You know, if we're tired, I hate to think how EG feel, but surely they're going to be turning up with the A game. They're going up, as I said, against Rock's Kiss. Rock's Kiss, just based off EG's performance, they are the underdogs. But we have to see how they do. Then we're going to move on to DD Dota versus Mouse Sports. Mouse Sports came through yesterday. DD Dota qualified first from Group A. And then after those 2 games, the winner of each of them won't have to play again today. They'll be waiting in the upper bracket finals. We're going to go on to the lower bracket semis, which means we'll be losing a team today. But it means on Saturday we'll come in with 3 teams and we'll get down to 2. And then on Sunday, one of those 2 teams will qualify directly to the International. The other will have to play a wildcard match. Mm-hmm. So that was that's where we're going today. But I think it's worth taking a look at what happened yesterday. We've got another recap video for you, and it was all about Mouse Sports yesterday. QPad did pretty well. Unfortunately, the Team IC Cup didn't come out so strong. They had 1 game where they could prove they are strong. They had a great performance versus Mouse earlier, but it was all about Mouse Sports. Let's take a look at the recap.
Is starting to become a pretty big threat. Just look at the melee racks getting beaten down right here. IC Cup, they really need to do something about this. The Soul Assumption is going to be there. The Medallion had to pop, but they just give away melee racks for free. Resolution, he's going to get initiated on. He does manage to get the phase shift off. Can he actually blink away? RP hits 2 on the back. It's going to be Mag and Jackal together. The 2 best heroes that you can hit. Buybacks all over the place. Wagamama, Resolution, they both buy back, and Jackal as well. But Mini, he picks up the double kill. He gets the kill on Mag. A bash onto Zik. Can he get a root? The Grave Chill is there. It looks like he will be able to get back to the base. Jerax now taking quite a bit of damage from Jackal, and it looks like it could be a bit of an overextension or not, because Mini gets the double impale. It's a triple kill for this Nyx. A blink back in coming out of Select, and even with the buybacks, it doesn't seem like IC Cup can actually take this fight. And he gets rooted right outside of well range. The skewer misses, but it doesn't even matter, as Singh, he gets a double.
It looks like this again. QPAD want to take a fight. Now, there are only 3 people here, and they're up against 4. This could be dangerous for
Zick.
QPAD, and already they're backing off.
Yeah, the cooldown's actually going to whiff on everyone. Jerax looks to be the targeted choice right here. This is kind of what I was saying. Disruption's going to be there. Looks like they might try to regroup, and Mag off in no man's land by himself. Going to get power shot by Waga. Jerax somehow still alive. Are you kidding me right now? He should eventually go down, but the amount of jukes is unreal. The flare is going to be there, but QPAD, they want to reinitiate a double shackle between Jackal and Zick. The TA drops a trap. Mini actually gets cogged out by always on the fly on the high ground, but Sing just evaporates Zick on that Bane. Jackal with the BKB pop. Is he going to be able to live through this? Waga, he's trying to juke, not going to be able to do so. Resolution gets the kill. The Abyssal Blade is popped. Nighttime comes around, and Select, he wants the kill, but Mag, Icy Cup, they call GG.
Position. He's actually going to get an opener on Mini. I'm not sure about that decision, and blinks very strangely into an odd position. And here we go. This has to be the fight, but well, Roshan's already down, and it is going to be picked up by Black.
And Select is actually dropping inside of the pit. Sing popping the BKB, has the Eclipse, just not really enough damage coming out from the side of the QPAD Red Pandas right now. Looks like Fata might be the only one to fall. He does get another phase shift off. Fata still alive. The Shadow Blade auto attack, and one more coming out from Wagamama. Get the kill, the buyback coming out of Fata, but it just simply doesn't matter.
Have to defend this.
Oh, Mini actually decides to go in. He does get a 2-man impale. He's going to try to burst down Paz here. He's going to get telekinesis. Night Stalker Duke is going to go out, but Paz, he gets healed back to full straight away. Aurora comes out, and a Waga, he does manage to get the root, but Paz, he steals the overgrowth. Quake, but behind enemy lines with the Soul Catcher on, eats the Mana Void from Sing. It's going to be a kill for him. It's a 3-for-1 exchange.
18 minutes. Mouse Sports are just so far ahead.
Oh, Mini.
Mini's going to get picked up. He's going to explode after Black gets on him. There comes the overgrowth. Select trying to get a kill, but that's what we talked about, Fata. It's a great spell, Primal Roar, to shut someone down, and Sing really can't take this fight. He's just got a perseverance. And if they get team wiped, Mouse Sports are looking to pick up the racks. Under 20 minutes, it's too far to come back for QPAD Red Pandas. So there you have it. That was a recap from yesterday where we concluded our final group, which was Group B, and Mouse Sports were the victor, beating out QPAD after QPAD took down ICU Cup. Good play from Mouse Sports yesterday, but I don't think they really showed how strong they could be. Like, they played good, but you have to say QPAD, they didn't lane well, they didn't make the right decisions, and Mouse Sports did feel that the games were easy. So it's going to be a different story here today for Mouse Sports going up against DD Dota. But guys, in terms of what your expectations are of the teams today, and the thing that you think we should be looking out for?
I think Rock's Kiss, you look at their performance in their group, right? And they ended up getting knocked down to the lower bracket by Absolute Legends. And that was one of the teams that many considered maybe the weakest in that entire group. So with that being said, Rock's Kiss, I think, are the ones here with something to prove, at least in the first best of 3. And they're going to be going up against a team that didn't lose a single game. And EG has been performing amazingly well. I'm sure they've still been screaming outside of the time that they've been playing in this tournament just because of the fact that they didn't have to play one of the days. So they've had a little bit of rest and relaxation, but now everything is pretty much on the line still. You don't want to get knocked down into that lower bracket, especially in playoffs, because now it's crunch time. You really want that first place spot.
Babas?
Don't really have too much to add. I mean, this first game is going to be really important to see if Roxkiss can actually put up a proper fight against EG. Like Preshow mentioned, I mean, EG, look, they played it out pretty much perfectly. They didn't lose a single game. JO died once in 4 games, and they just, like, their aggressive style, they never let anyone have any room whatsoever to farm, and it's going to be hard for Roxkiss. It's going to be really hard for them.
You know what, James?
Wow.
I consider Mouseport being the underdog in this group. I think they're the weakest of the 4. Not by much, but from what I've seen from Roxkiss, DD Dota, and EG, I think the Mouseport will have to work really, really hard to get into this first winners bracket and see if they can advance to the finals. On the other hand, as strong as we've seen EG playing, we haven't yet seen them play against CIS teams, which are really strong. DD Dota with Golak and Silent, you can't underestimate them. And even Roxkiss, they play so convincingly well that probably will be much harder than EG's last 2 matches.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Do you have any stats to back this up, Bruno? Because I hear words, but
I have some stats, sure,
He's a visual guy.
of course.
yeah.
Just clip
Just-
one.
They all make sense. They
make
all
s-
back up his point.
I'm all relevant. And look at that. EG versus Radical Online X. That's Rock's Kiss. We saw EG's path. They beat Cupad Red Pandas, one of the teams eliminated, and Mousesports, which I insist. I don't think they're as strong as Rock's Kiss or DD Dota, for example. And even though they sport a winning record, of course, that doesn't mean anything when you get into a playoffs. Rockskis, on the other hand, they beat Empire and AL, two, of course, weak teams in terms of, especially Empire, they didn't win a single map. And AL, they had some interesting things going on with Slark, but unfortunately that was not enough. But if you see, you go back to 2 weeks ago, they faced each other in the Curse Invitational. Rockskis actually beat EG 2-1 there.
And that's just 2 weeks ago.
And that's just 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks is a long time when you're actually boot camping, though.
In gamer life, 2 weeks is like, how many games a day could you play in 2 weeks?
That's like being in a hyperbolic time chamber, man. You watch Dragon Ball Z, that's like training to go to Namek right there, so it's the new EG.
Yeah. I'm so ready for the games.
Yeah,
it's like we've come on a little bit early. Normally we're all prepared, but we're actually just like, what is it? Day
5.
Day 5. It's
Yeah.
like, show me the Dota. That's where I'm at.
I feel the same way. Bambo is actually still not in the lobby. Everyone else from Rockskiss and EG are here, but we still got about 10, 15 minutes before we even want to start the game just to make sure that everything is running smoothly. So, while we have a little bit of time, we can talk about predictions, I suppose. Maybe what kind of style we think each team's going to bring. For me, EG, the favorite. They're going to be playing probably just as aggressive as they have been so far. It's been working for them, and I can't see any reason for them to change.
I actually agree with Bruno a little bit. I feel that EG and DD Dota are the two teams to beat. Rock's Kiss, just because of how good they can play their style in terms of aggressiveness, I think they're very scary. Mousesports are solid, but they don't make a lot of room. Like, Mousesports are a team that you can see how you can beat them in a way. And you can see that even on the aggression, Mousesports don't do aggression or, kills and fights under towers and make stuff happen as well as someone like Rock's Kiss. So they, for me, I've actually put them as the team that will come through second place. But they, for me, are the ones that have something to prove here. I still think they could get second place because Rock's Kiss and DD, they need to work, well over the next 2 days, and Mousesports will always be a consistent level, and consistency is key to winning tournaments. So we'll see what will happen with that. So,
You mentioned that you think Mouse is going to be second. I assume that means you think that EG is going to be coming in first?
yeah.
What about DD Dota? No?
Well, the thing about DD Dota is like watching them scrim. It's all about how you ban and how you draft against them. And Mousesports seem really pretty good at drafting, and EG as well. So I'm not sure that DD are going to get all their advantages that they would necessarily want.
I wouldn't underestimate Goblack's ability to draft. I mean, he's been regarded as, for many, many pro players and casters in the scene, as one of the drafting geniuses in Dota. So I'm sure he has not one, not two, but at least 5 pocket strats under his sleeve. And he's not afraid to burn them because, I mean, there's no burning when you actually are in a win-lose situation. You're going for the $2 million international prize.
Everybody wants first. No one wants to come out second here of the top 4 teams, because first place guarantees you're there for the whole tournament. You get to go to the international in August in Seattle, and you get to play straight into the group stages, etc. Second place means you turn up and you get one game, and that one game is going to be versus the Eastern Qualifier, second place, which will be run by Beyond the Summit this coming Monday onwards. So it's all about first place. So yeah, I agree that they're going to pull everything out that they've got, but it's kind of like Mousesports' consistency could deserve them a second place. Rock's Kiss and DD have to perform. Mousesports are going to try and stop them from doing so, and if they slightly underperform, Mousesports for me could be the team that come through second, and I still predict EG first. Yeah, but I think it's a toss-up between all those 3 teams other than EG right now. But we'll have to see. Because EG, they showed they were good in group stage. But it doesn't mean much going into the playoffs.
Well, it doesn't really mean much, I agree. But at the same time, I think we're kind of undervaluing how well DD actually played. Because if you think about it, DD is a team that we've probably not seen for the longest time. Because they just went straight through in the first group. They didn't really have any problems. And they made it straight away. And then we have teams like Roxkiss, who we kind of get to see develop, go through the lower bracket, and get that second place spot in their group. So we might be just remembering the better parts of Roxkiss and not what actually happened to them when they played against AL. Again, losing to the team that pretty much isn't in the tournament anymore. I mean, there's not really many other ways to say it. And AL being considered one of the weakest of the groups, for me, I feel like Roxkiss versus EG in this matchup, definitely the big underdog, but DD, I think, is still going to do well. They're probably going to be my second place team.
You know, I have a prediction to make as well, but I can't do predictions if I don't see the players' faces.
Okay, it's all about, you need the visuals again.
I need the visuals.
Alright, visuals, here you go.
That's not the player faces. I mean, groups, playoffs. Okay. I set you up perfectly, Trans, for the video you wanted.
These are player faces.
These are player faces. The other ones are player faces as well.
Would you like your player faces in overlay format or video format?
I like them in video format.
Could we have, sorry Trans, could we have the overlay, we need faces in video format.
It's more helpful for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mystic Bruno, you've been able to see, peer into the player cards there of the 4 teams coming into the playoffs. What does Mystic Bruno have to say? Who's going to win?
Mystic Bruno say 2-1 EG
Okay, 2-1 EG.
and 2-0 DD Dota.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Alright, so we just cancel the day now and just go straight to the lower
Lower
bracket
brackets,
semi-finals?
straight ahead.
I'm good with that. Shorter day for me.
Andy,
I'm sorry.
no.
But no, I really want to see every single game. Like, what I said before is, I think that EG is going to place first, DD's going to place second, but that still doesn't mean there's going to be any bad games. All these teams definitely deserve to be there. They made their way through the groups. I don't think there's going to be really a bad best of 3 the entire day.
I still can't predict. Like, even though I have my thoughts in terms of who might come second and first, it's still up in the air for me.
Yeah.
Like, Roxkiss can qualify, DD Dota, Mouse Sports, and EG can, they're all worthy of a spot, but it just comes down to these next 2 days. Because over the 2 days, we'll know who's going to be top 2, and that's what we're kind of predicting here, as opposed to who's going to come first. But it's up for grabs. It's up for grabs for everybody. And even though there are slight underdogs, but just small differences. We saw IC Cup versus QPAD, Red Pandas, and IC Cup were like, they're winning. Here comes a mid-fight. Oh dear, they've lost the game.
Yeah.
And it's that one fight, you know. But it was a small differences. Like we saw QPAD versus Mouse Sports, game 2. You're like, QPAD, whoa, they just got first blood and a second kill on the lane, and they only gave away a support. Surely they're going to destroy this tri lane. And then all of a sudden, the supports go mid and kill a Beastmaster, and the tri lane with black gets back into the game, and you're like, oh dear, QPAD Red Pandas have lost game 2. So it's like these small differences, and it's how much stress and pressure the teams are going to put on themselves. Because if they put too much pressure on themselves to constantly feel like they have to be doing stuff, it can deviate them away from their original game plan, and they can lose games because of that. So just the high tense and the high pressure situation of being in the playoff stage of a $2 million tournament, the largest in esports, and thanks for all the community, by the way, not on my behalf because I don't get to see any of the money.
Don't you?
No, not really.
I do.
What? Okay. Thanks on behalf of Bruno for people that have bought the compendium. You've helped like raise the prize pool to the largest in esports, and hopefully you've been enjoying your perks in terms of being able to watch in game. I think everyone could have done that, but also some of the item drops, etc., from Dota TV, as well as the predictions. Do they mean anything? The predictions?
You get points, and if you get all the points, as I will, of course, you get special thingies that are really nice. They also got a new HUD like the in-game HUDs,
Yeah.
just because it reached the $2 million goal.
I
So,
saw some HUDs on Reddit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of them.
There was a Star Ladder one.
No, there will be a
that's-
Solana and Premier League, but that's for the future.
Yeah.
Right now, there's an International 3 HUD, which is available.
Can
to
we have a good studio HUD?
We can have a good studio HUD. It's actually really easy. All we need is someone with good design skills. Do you know someone?
No.
Well, we
Community.
can always call Pyrian flags and draw doodles.
I mean, Michael
buy
and
that
McCormick have done all our overlays. No.
Nah,
I mean, it's really not up to standard.
no.
Need something better.
Huh?
Need something better if it's going to be in game. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is just like
Cats
covering up what's
everywhere.
already.
Cats. That'd be great.
But yeah, what I'm saying is basically about the 4 teams. You can't predict how they're going to play today, just because of this is a very pressured situation. It means a lot to the team. So hopefully they keep their cool. Hopefully they come in with a game plan and they stick to it. And that's probably where we're going to see the best Dota. But I wouldn't be surprised if we expect one game to be great and one team to not perform at all, just because of it's the playoffs and it's a really tough situation. Surely no team's going to give up, but we're not going to see normal Dota. Hopefully we just see amazing Dota because of it, and everyone overperforms.
If we're talking about the first best of 3, I think this game is going to be ridiculously good no matter what. The thing that you actually mentioned before is these teams, sometimes they play aggressive, sometimes they play defensive. But what I think is maybe even more important is if you look at the teams and you decide who are the big impact players on the side of EG. For me, it's got to be the supports. I mean, Fear, he played amazingly well throughout the group stage. And even though Jo had that 40 kills, 1 death, the supports kind of let that happen, you know what I mean? They made the space for him. They allowed him to succeed in every single situation. And then you have a team like Rock's Kiss, where usually it's going to be BZZ playing the carry, who delivers the bigger performances, in my opinion, and Vanscore, who played that amazing Rubik earlier on in their group stage. So who's going to be bringing their A-game in terms of individual players? Because supports, especially in such high tense games, you really want them to create the space for the entire team, basically, and kind of just try to go from there. Because it feels like when we watched Keypad yesterday, it was this, no one's really on the same page, and the supports are really the ones who actually say, hey, this is what we need to do, we're calling the shots, let's try to do this.
The interesting thing about American teams that I've noticed over a long time in esports is they actually do perform really well when the stakes are high. Like, it really is. It's like, you look at the international too, it's like all the European teams pretty much finished in the lower, in the first round of the playoffs, which was like 12 to 16.
Yeah.
And the American teams,
They
got through to the next round, which finished them from 9th to 12th. And you probably wouldn't expect that, but it's just, I don't know what it is. Like, I kind of do know, because I've seen American teams play multiple different esport games, but it's just like, when they have to play like really big matches, they seem to love performing in terms of where the stakes are higher. And they also communicate a lot better. Like, they really come together as a team when it comes down to we have to win. It's quite an interesting phenomenon.
We'll have to see if that remains true today.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing about Russian teams, and because they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they like to beat people that should win.
Yeah,
Especially Americans.
that's true.
If you ever met Kula from Quake, you'd believe that more to be true.
Or Ivan
And
Drago
then,
from
the
Rocky IV.
German team Mousesports, they're going to be efficient. It's fine.
Brutally efficient.
Yeah.
Like German official.
And the French are unpredictable. That's just how the French
Yeah, that's
are.
actually a good point. 'Cause DD,
Like-
you got Galblack, and it's like, he can draft like everything.
I
But
mean,
just French players in tournament games. They're really annoying. Like, you do something and you're like, oh, they're going to back off now, because 95% of the time the player wouldn't come back in. But because they're French and they're cheeky, they're like, oh, ha, ha, ha. And then they come back round and they kill you. And you're like, ah, fucking French players.
And then they say GG and surrender.
No. Backed up with a Russian, do not give a fuck, taking you off the top spot. That's a scary team, DD. I think I just analysed the whole tournament right there. That's how it's going to happen. Boom, done. All right, so we can go just to a quick screen where we bring up the brackets, and when we come back, we'll be introducing both the teams and getting ready for our first match. It's going to be EG versus Rock's Kiss. It's a best of 3. The winner won't have to play any more games today, and we'll wait in the upper bracket finals. The loser will have to wait for the loser of the other game. This is too long of an outro. Fuck it, try and press the button.